Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome. Yeah, world premiere this weekend. How's everybody doing? We got this guy to open. Congrats, Static. Got him a gold foil, so we're gonna open that up. Yeah, man. Hype for the high seas is at an all-time high, man. We're gonna see a lot of stuff this weekend. We're gonna see the whole set. Oh, can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun. I wish I was there, but Taipei is literally on the other side of the planet, I think, and it was not easy to get to, so we ain't going. That's for sure. Got too many cool North American events coming up, man. I got Vegas coming up, so oh yeah, there's a lot of options. It's not just an Anathos, I guess. Yeah, you guys are right. Titan's Fist, what is it? Jarl's weapon is Summit's Peak. You take a Titan's Fist. So if you guys didn't know, we're just chilling tonight. We got this gold foil to open, and we're just gonna be chatting, doing a little waiting room action. I got nothing to open, actually. Waiting for high seas. We're gonna turn the lights up a bit so you guys can see this gold foil being opened. So no box breaks tonight, which will be a TCG TED first, I believe. Yeah, I think this is the first time. Well, we've done I guess Nate and I have done some like buy list lives, which we didn't open boxes, but we are just doing some chat about the news. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the BNR, kind of talk through that a bit. Overall, my thoughts are pretty positive on it, not gonna lie. Then we're gonna do a little bit of a live market minute. About my boy Florian. Yes, Florian is my favorite deck. He is one of my favorite heroes since Chain, actually. So let's see. I gotta figure out. Let me grab my phone. We gotta update the sub list, guys. We are still trying to get to that. I believe we're getting to that next level. Where are we at now? We are at 1,883. Double checking on the phone. Let's update that now, eh? So we did hit the goal from last week. Thank you everyone for the support. We are officially on to 1,900. And Scepter is not a hit in the gold pack, but we're on to 1,900, and if you guys have been around, you know what that means. Once we hit 1,900 subs, we reveal another card for the 2,000 sub giveaway. So yeah, that's exciting. We're trying to get there, and then at 1,950 we reveal the third and final card. It's 3 cards and a World's deck box that I will be shipping out to anybody. So TCG less than yes. So we're just chilling. We're gonna open this up. I'm gonna get this keyboard out of the way. We're gonna open this. The one thing we do have to open tonight before we go to, high seas waiting room, right? Chatting about the news and such. A deck box, yes. So I think we got. Let's look. I'm stalling here a little bit. Static, sorry about that. So currently, right now, checking, I have 80 people signed up for the 2,000 sub giveaway. So right now the odds are pretty decent, actually. I mean, 80 people from Blue Sky, Facebook, Discord, my Twitter account, etc. Right? So exclamation point Discord gets you into the Discord. That's probably the easiest way to get to the giveaway link. Also, check out Blue Sky. Check out Twitter, TCG Ted, and search for it on there. I might have it pinned. I probably should have it pinned if I was like a pro content creator, but yeah. We also have spoilers. I think Nate and I are going to try to do spoiler review, but obviously this weekend we will also be doing our Majestic tier list, market tier list, so that's always a fun time. So buckle up, strap in. That's going to be probably all of an hour and 20 minutes. The Hunted was an hour and 20 minutes. So, yeah. What was Min-Max last video? I saw they put something up about like vibey penguins or something, but I didn't see what else they got cooking. We could talk about that a bit, I guess, or whatever. Discord link broke. Oh, it looks like it might be broke. Oh yeah, allocation. Yeah. High Seas is super wanted, man. Got a let's see, Nightbot. What am I doing? Let's jump into Nightbot. Let's see if we can't get that Discord link working again, eh? It does seem like Night. Oh no, that wasn't Nightbot. Oh, it's like way different. Commands. All right, exclamation point. Discord should work now. Let me try it. Nightbot. Dude, Nightbot's just gone. Huh. I wonder why that happened. It just broke on me. Well, I'll have to figure this out. Yo, there it is. There's Static. Thank you. Dashboard. Join channel. Nightbot's online now, I believe. That's what it says it is. Logs. Huh. Alright, well, yeah, follow that link, get into the Discord, check me out on Twitter, do the things. That's how you get into that giveaway. But let's get to this, and then we'll talk about some stuff. I'm kind of curious why Nightbot went haywire on me. Oh well. It still doesn't look like it's working. Anyways. Alright, we'll leave that alone. Alright guys, let's do it. Static. Let's see what you guess. Hopefully it is... Oh, Nick, you're just in time. We're opening up this gold foil. Majestic, rare, or common. Oh. Security tape. Defeating me. Yo, Nightbot's coming in hot all of a sudden. Yo. Back-to-back Null Rune equipped. I've been thinking about trying to find one of these myself, actually. I got the boots lined up for pickup in Vegas. But the arms are pretty sick, man. The gloves. Yes, sir. Immediately in the Fang deck. Very nice. Yeah, that's clutch, man. That's cool that it getting all ruined game mains. Dude, that's a good one. I mean, that's a good one to get, dude, because like null rune equipment's just always gonna be a thing, you know? Combined, we almost have a set. Yeah, we just need the hood with our powers combined, right? Once I get my boots. All right. Congrats, Static. Congrats. I will be handing this off to you this week, sir. Well played, well played. All right, let's put this away. Let's see if I set up my OBS properly. Jump down to, let's see, it'd be this guy. All right, so let's talk about it a bit. Let's get into it. So guys, we got the BNR this week. Man, it's, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was gonna be a little bit more of a, I'm gonna pull this over just a little bit. I thought there was gonna be a little bit more of an upheaval. I think it's good actually. If we're gonna start at the top here, Classic Constructed, not gonna read the whole thing because you guys probably already read it. We don't need to really tear into that too much, but you know, the headlines are Conjure Blessings banned, Germinate banned, Scepter of Pain banned, Bonds of Ancestry Red unbanned. Yeah, Rapid Fire, Conjure Blessings banned, super good. Card was just, people just hated it, dude, and I think they and Brian kind of explains that a little bit, that it's just not good for the game's health. You know, if you're like a perfect pitch stacker and you're a pro player playing in the like a tier 4 event, you're gonna have all your like sideboard lined up and everything for like how to beat it. But if you're just going to your armory every week, man, no one wants to be pitch stacking at their armory per se, you know what I'm saying? So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, generic was probably, yeah, just like gets slammed in like all these bad decks too to try to make them good. It's just like it gets slammed into too many decks. So yeah, I think that's a good change. I think that was like writing on the wall. I think the blue was just like the first step to make sure that things like when it was, yeah, the blue was just nuts with Mystic Heroes, but and then the next up, Germinate. Yeah, this one, I mean, Germinate was a good card. I really liked it. It was an EA in my deck, so now I got to take an EA out of my deck, which bums me out. My Max Bling Florian deck. Yeah, I think Germinate was, you know, they mentioned in the article that there's a card that like combos with Germinate that's in High Seas expansion slot. I was watching Brian Gottlieb on Push the Point today. I would shout out Push the Point. Go watch that interview. Very good. Very, very insightful as always. Brian kind of really is good at that, right? I think he explained himself well. He did say, while I'm bringing that up, he did say it was a Florian card. So maybe it's a Runeblade card. I was thinking maybe an Earth card that was like side supports Florian, but is more like Verdant support. But it sounds like it might just be a Runeblade card that interacts with aura creation somehow. I mean, if it interacts with Germinate, right? Germinate makes auras, so that's okay. We'll just replace it. I think it's fine. Like, let's, you know, I think this is the start of, hey, we're gonna ban more things more often than not nowadays. We're gonna let heroes kind of get their 1 year in and ban things as needed. So I think Germinate is the start of that, because Florian could have been gone by the like end of Nats, right? So I don't think that's what they wanted. I don't think that's what the fan base wants. I think there's a pretty strong Florian fan base out there. Yeah, he's a pretty fair deck, to be honest. Like, he's not like something that's oppressive. He's just very good. That leads us into Scepter of Pain as well. I mean, you know, here's my thing on Scepter of Pain. You know, I kind of said this in the Discord a little bit too over the last week. I'm not surprised this got banned. I think it makes sense. I was kind of hoping for a Channel the Millennial Tree ban, but like, yeah, that kind of like hurts Verdance for no reason. So it makes sense. Scepter of Pain, right? Designed before amping was even a keyword. Makes sense. The one thing that I will say is that I really hope we get a Scepter of Pain type weapon back in the Runeblade class, because I thought it really opens up the it really opens up a fun playstyle for Runeblades to like stack rune chants without breaking them, because Scepter of Pain, you could just do the effect and it doesn't count as a weapon swing. You know, what is it? Annals of Sutcliffe kind of does the same thing, right? Where you're just pitching into it and it makes a rune chant. So like, I guess there's still one out there, but that's just unplayable. That's just not like, you have to keep 2 cards to make 1 rune chant. Just not gonna happen. Scepter of Pain was like kind of a nice little iteration on that. And yeah, I just think it's like, you know, there's like major downfalls to that weapon too, right? Like, yeah, okay, you stack up like 15 rune chants. Now you have to look at your hand and you're like, okay, how do I throw? I have to draw a 9th blade. I have to draw an amp, because like you have no way to break your rune chants, right? Where like Reaping Blade, you can stack up 6 to 10 rune chants at a time, maybe more if you, but you can't ever swing your weapon. But then you have like weapon tunic, you know, tunic weapon, right? So like, yeah, Scepter of Pain is like seems really good because it doesn't break the rune chants, but also that can be a negative, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, I like I said, not surprising. Scepter of Pain, you know, it had to go. It was funny, I was playing Scepter of Pain Tree from like day 1 playing Florian. Not that I came up with it, right? There was something that I saw online and some friends of mine told me about it, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And it always kind of felt like I was, I don't know, it was a very it was so weird playing this card, like playing Tree into Scepter, because it was like kind of a fake out, because it's definitely like negative value to start, but then the next turn when you hit them with the 4 arcane, it's positive value, right? So it's like, man, this play feels awful, and then you're like, oh wait, you know, I'm stacking up them rune chants, right? So no surprise there. Florian overall, as somebody that's played a lot of Florian, I don't think this really does nothing to the deck. I honestly think that the mid-range version was better than the stack version. The stack version just preyed on people sideboarding wrong into you, which is kind of a feels bad. And also, not every hero can AB3 and then have the blues to AB3. So, you know, like Fang and some of the, like maybe Syndra. I never played a Syndra with the stack version. Maybe she does enough damage quick enough. But I get it, right? If you read the article, the explanation makes sense. Yeah. So I just needed to be taken down a bit. No issues there. I think the deck that I'm playing right now, I got to take 3 Germinates out. I don't know. First thing that comes to my head is with Syndra popping up now, probably 3 blue Battlefield Bastions, just get a little bit extra block. You know, kind of replace that 3 block in a sense. But those 3 cards also might have to be Earth cards, which then it becomes a little bit tougher, because There ain't no 3-block Earth cards left. Them don't exist. Blue 3-block Earth cards, I don't think them exist. So, yeah. Gotta think about that one a little bit more. But Battlefront Bastions probably slot right in. Maybe feels a little bit worse with the 3 less Earth. So, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on it? I think Florian is fine. So, and then the last one is Bonds of Ancestry Red unbanned. Yeah, I think Katsu just took it on the shins like one too many times. Again, shout out Push the Point. Go watch that interview with Brian. He kind of talks about how like Katsu just kind of was beaten down, right? And he wanted to bring it back, and then he was very honest about it. And I think this is like the LSS's methodology moving forward, guys, is that he's like, dude, we got another BNR before Singapore. He's like, if something goes wrong, he's like, I'll just ban it again. So I think we're now in the age of like bans happening, like tuning will be more often, right? Which I think it has to be, which we'll get to in the next part of this article, right? But I mean, look at this, dude. This is just like, if you haven't read this, go read it. I think it's super cool that Brian puts these together, right? This doesn't take a small amount of time, and it's much better than just getting a list, right? And just being like, here, you guys figure it out and you make your assumptions. So no, they kind of walk through it and tell you why. The other thing is they get a lot of data now, right? So with deck lists in Gym, they get the deck list every week. They get deck lists from every event for every player now. And on top of that, they can like easily look at cards and decks. So I think, with that extra data, they're like lined up to do some cool stuff, right? So I don't know. Katsu paid for Zen's crime. Yeah, dude. He sure did. Okay, so moving on to Blitz. Yeah, so we got a skirmish season coming up, right, guys? Sound off in chat when the next skirmish season is. I don't actually know when that's happening. I imagine we're doing an LL in skirmish season soon, right? Because I want to get that LL tuned up for Worlds, Let's see here. We can run through these quick. Again, I'm notably not a Blitz player, like full stop. But these all make sense. Contra Blessings, dude. If Contra Blessings was like toxic in CC, it definitely gonna be toxic in Blitz. Channel Lightning Valley. Oh god, dude. I didn't even think about this card in Blitz, right? That's nasty. Especially with the defense Sigil of Suffering, man, crazy. And Flicker Wisp makes sense, right? The 2 arcane pings from Aurora just kind of dominate 20 health format. Makes sense. Then Stormstriders, yeah, Stormstriders. Turns out when you have 20 health and every card counts and like every draw counts, getting a whole extra turn, probably a little too strong. I'm just gonna throw it out there that it's gotta be crazy, man. I mean, there's a lot of LL wizards in Blitz, right? All right, moving down. I'm kind of not speed running, but I'm kind of like moving quickly here because I think the Living Legends changes are sweet and want to get to them. But in the Living Legend format, we got Carrion Husk banned, Crown of Seeds banned, Call restricted. Restricted is 1 per deck in Living Legends format, if you guys didn't know. Deadwood Dirge is restricted to 1. Succumb to Temptation was restricted to 1. And Hypothermia is unrestricted for, yeah. So basically they said chain, yeah, no thanks. Carrion Husk. So the thing is like chain was like the best aggro deck and then the best control deck because of Succumb and Call. And it was just like too much, right? Hey, Kevin. Skirmish Season 12 is August 16th through the 31st. Thank you. Yeah, so not right around the corner, but it's coming up, right? So it'd be cool to see the changes come into effect there. I am sure we'll get Living Legends and Blitz as the formats again in that season, if not already announced, for sure. But yeah, Chain kind of got it on the shins. Not surprising if you look at the top 8 of the Battle Hardened at London. He was dominant and then ended up winning the whole event as well. And I think we're going to see some pretty aggressive changes in LL heading up the Worlds, because they do mention it right here. Keeping a close eye on events and making sure that the format is set up to have an epic debut on the World Champion stage. So we're going back to 3 formats. Draft, Living Legends, and CC at Worlds, which is cool. I think some pros that I know would say that it's a lot to prep for. As a person that doesn't aspire to engage in that side of the game, you know, I don't feel like I can really comment on it. You know, I know prepping takes a lot of time and it's a lot. So we'll see how it goes. I think 3 format is cool. I think it's cool that they are continuing to like really push LL, right? And like try to, you know, work on it at greater lengths. My bet is that after the skirmish season or after certain events that are coming up, we might see some of these unrestricted. That's just my bet, because this feels pretty aggressive. Like Deadwood Dirge just like catching a restricted tag is like, I don't know, is it really? I mean, I get it, right? It's Chain's engine because he can dirge his shackles to make rune chants and then play cards for free. So not saying it's not a powerful card. I'm just saying, like, is that what we're doing right now? I don't know. That seems like a little bit much. I don't know. So I'm expecting some changes. Call's probably definitely staying restricted. Deadwood Dirge maybe comes unrestricted, and then Succumb possibly. But I think Deadwood Dirge restricted doesn't stick. That's my prediction. I don't know. I'm just basing that on nothing. But that's just my thoughts. Yeah, we got some Commoner updates as well. Reality Refractor. I haven't played Commoner in years, guys. Not that I'm against it. I thought Commoner was quite fun. There's some pretty polarizing things happening in Commoner, right? Like, I know last time I played, it was like Dash was just blasting. Doesn't sound like that's quite the same meta anymore, but Reality Refractor, you know, seems like it was a problem. So yeah, that's cool. I think if a local store of mine would like say, hey, we're doing Commoner this week, I would jump in, you know, check it out, see what's going on. And the last thing on the ban and restricted is the Living Legends point distribution. So this one's a big one, guys. Basically right here, one thing that they're doing too that should not be overlooked is fractional points are now being kept. They're not being rounded, which is pretty good. And then they're adding a multiplier. So first year of legality, heroes points will be halved. Second year, no multiplier, so just 1 times, just normal. And then past that 1 year mark, 2+ years, we get 1.5. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. You know, I think this is an interesting change. I think it helps. I think the biggest thing that I would say is that it helps the new heroes be interesting, and like them, it like gives them a way to like slow things down, but you know, slow things down, have bands, kind of manage it this way instead of just like, oh, Aurora's super popular, she is also really good, so then she just LLs in 6 months. Be like, oh, you know, and then they can't catch up on the back end, right? Because they even said that they planned for her to LL like this December, and then they would have been like a 3-month wait, or well, no, December would have been still a 6-month wait. But it would have been not a year, it would have been 6 months, right? And that's much more manageable. That's like, you know, a month or two from like spoilers of the Armory deck and stuff. Hey, what's up, Big B? I like the 1.5 multiplier because just like once you hit 2 years, like I think your time, yeah. Yeah, I guess like the point, I guess what I've seen that criticism too, that like once a hero gets good after 2 years, they will just go super quick. I would argue that heroes in the system that we just left, like literally on Sunday, LL that quick as well. Aurora got an RTN season. Aurora got 3 seasons. ProQuest season, an RTN season, and a ProQuest season, right? So welcome from Taipei. Heck yeah, dude, I'm excited for you, man. That's gonna be an awesome event. Super jealous. But like she got 3 seasons. I mean, like, you know, so maybe a hero that's over 2 years gets 2 seasons, right? Like part of an RTN season and then the ProQuest season, or a national season and a ProQuest season, kind of like what we have right now. I think that's enough, man, especially if a hero is like 2 years old, right? And I would argue that if this multiplier effect might also help them prep for the replacement of the hero a little bit better, right? They can say, okay, he's now at the 1.5 multiplier. I'm going to use Rhinar as an example, right? We have, you know, LSS is like, we got this brute set coming, you know, whenever. We know that we're going to Viserai him, right? So Viserai, like legit, they were just like, we're printing cards, Deadwood Dirge and Rune Ranger Swarm, because we just can't wait for Viserai to LL anymore, and we need Rune Blades to have these cards, right? Basically for like limited, and then like I also think they're really cool thematic cards for the Rune Blade set, right? So they do the same thing to Rhinar, and like Viserai left just as fast as Rhinar will leave. Like there'll be no difference there, right? Like, especially if a hero, you know, if a hero is over 2 years, there's a handful of them that are like below 500 points, right? So I know it feels like Tekla will just disappear once he like gets good, but I think you'll have time. I think you'll have more time than you think, right? So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I'm excited to see how this goes, to be honest. I'm excited for more like the ban changes to happen more quickly. It seems like they, I don't think they've come out and said it, but we kind of just went through a phase where they tried, okay, LL is the safety valve, right? If something's broken, we'll just let it LL. And then now they've kind of reassessed that and said, okay, well, we had Zen LL, we had Enigma LL quickly, we had Aurora LL. How do we, how do we change the system a bit, right? And make it more fun for that first year of eligibility for heroes, right? Maybe, okay, so here's the thing. And Collex, I'll get to your question here in a second, but I'm on a thought here. So like maybe in this new system, hear me out, now that points are halved and they're willing to ban cards, maybe Tekla would have been printed a little bit more pushed, right? They wouldn't have been so scared. I'm not saying that they were scared to make him good. Let me rephrase that. Maybe he gets a little bit more powerful cards in Bright Lights, because they're like, okay, we're going to push his cards. We're going to see how fast he collects points, how dominant he is. Maybe ban one of them, adjust, make some adjustments here or there. But we got that year to play with him, right? And then like he LLs after that year. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, is that I hope that the halved points end of it helps kind of keep things fresh and exciting, and like less Olympias, less Betsy's. You know what I mean? I think some of these heroes like Betsy probably doesn't get pushed because her cards would have been super good in Bravo, which has Dominate, which is broken. You know what I mean? Like maybe some pushed crush cards are great when heroes can block with their attack reactions and defense reactions, right? With overpower. But when you're getting crushed and dominated, sucks, right? And so Bravo not LLing maybe kind of constrains Betsy, right? That's just how I'm thinking about it. But Collex, what do you got here? So will high C's help Olympia, Kasai, or Betsy gain points? I think Kasai is already gaining points. She just went a battle hardened. So I think Kasai, if you watch my deck tech with the Wolf Pack, Nate and Jonathan, they're still pretty high on Kasai. So I think Kasai's a good spot. Now for those other two, Olympia and Betsy, I'm going to say no. Unfortunately, I thought Guardian Mastery Pack was going to help Betsy more than it seems like it. I thought that was going to be more of a kind of mishmash of a bunch of Guardians cards, which I think it still will be. So maybe there'll be some Betsy cards in there to help her. But I think Guardian Mastery Pack is where I would like to see Betsy. Where I would predict Betsy maybe gain some power, right? Olympia, I mean, he needs cards, man. So here's the thing, because I knew I was going to be talking a lot tonight, so I kind of did some homework today. If you go back and watch the dev talk from London, there's a question in there, it's like around the hour and 30 mark, and James, I believe, talks about how the set this fall, set 17, they're not announcing the name yet, they're just calling it set 17, is going to have a much expanded expansion slot, and that they're really keying in on like supporting old heroes, which, dude, that sounds like everything's on the docket. You know what I'm saying? Like Olympia, Bolton, really trying to push some of those heroes and kind of give them some love, right? Static gold generation stuff from high seas could maybe help Olympia. Yes, yeah, for sure. But like, why play Olympia when Kasai's really good? It's just like, Olympia and Betsy were these like heroes that were good for limited. They needed like the push and pull of the two Guardians pulling on each other, and then Olympia and Kasai pulling on each other. but like I think they kind of left it at that, and maybe they learned a valuable lesson about, maybe they thought it was like, yeah, we'll just throw these heroes out there and no one, you know, they just won't be supported very well, we'll get to them later. But it turns out with Flesh and Blood, people latch on to heroes like so hard, man. Like I'm, you know, if you guys have been around and been listening to me rant and rave, big Chain fan, big Runeblade fan, I latch onto these heroes, man. And I know a lot of you guys do too. And like people latched on to Olympia, even though he's like wasn't supported, like just straight up, you know. People latched on to Betsy, even though, you know, she's, you know, underwhelming or just a kind of a more tame version of Bravo, right? So, yeah, I think they probably learned their lesson to not just like yeet two heroes into a box and there's like, yeah, we'll get to them later. I would imagine. I don't think we see that happen again. Let me put it that way. I think, not that it's like bad press, but I just think that like they get it. Dude, I hear you guys. You Olympia stands out there, and you Betsy, and like not Betsy as much, but Olympia for sure. Like y'all are loud. I mean, that's for sure. Yeah, maybe they do. Yeah, maybe they do young heroes only. That makes sense. I think it's like, you know, as I don't play those heroes, but like I think it's still fun that there's some heroes that like people can really tinker around with and like try to make work, right? Like, because like getting LL points on Betsy or on Olympia is like super epic task. I was thinking about this today, and Nate and I had talked about it offline a little bit, but like there's like a couple core tenets to Fab, I think. And like, you know, there's been a lot of talks about the Living Legends. I think that's a core tenet of Fab. No like hard rotation of heroes or cards. I think that's like a core mechanic. Obviously, it's something that they admittedly said that if they can't get figured out over a long period of time, maybe it goes away. I don't know. I don't think we're there yet. I think they're just kind of saying that like nothing's permanent. But I do think it's a core tenet. And then there's another core tenet of Fab is that like people love their heroes, man. And I think even pro players have like love for certain heroes. Maybe not as much as like those Armory Andys out there like myself, you know. But I think it's just always like, yeah, I just think that like this game like gets you attached to heroes, right? And you just want to play them, you want to do well on them, and yeah, it's just like a really cool part of the game. But it also causes for some like heartache because you have Olympia, you have Teklos, you have Betsy's, right? Send some gas promos and get them out. Yeah, dude. Hey Terry, welcome to the pod. Just saw your question. Market hour live. Yeah, we're gonna switch over. We just kind of been chit chatting a bit. Man, it's 8:44 already. This is like going faster than opening packs. I didn't expect that. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me tonight. I super appreciate it. I don't have the goal up right now, but we are trying to get to 1900 subs. So if you haven't subbed, sub up, hit the bell, hit the like button. At 1900 subs, I will be revealing the next card in the 2000 sub giveaway. Then at 1950, we'll be doing the third card. And then obviously at 2000, we'll be giving it away. But yeah, let's jump over to a little bit of market talk. Because that's kind of what I'm known for. All right, so we're looking at TCG player here, just straight up Flesh and Blood. Big B, thank you, sir. I appreciate your sub. Thank you so much. Let's do, okay, so this is kind of how I'll give you guys a little insight into how I cook up some things. Let's stretch this down a bit. So we're on. Sorry about my camera blocking some of the cards, but we'll get there. We can scroll. So first thing I do, obviously, we're going to look at Majestics and up. We can stick with Majestics here. One thing I like to do on TCG players sometimes sort by best selling. I honestly, I don't know what's up with this. Sometimes TCG player, I'm like, best selling, really? But according to TCG player, these are the best selling cards in Flesh and Blood right now. My sync belows. Oh my god. Dude, sync belows sell $2 to $3. I just got an email from TCG Player saying that Sync Below was the best selling card on TCG Player for Fab in April. It's like always Sync. Okay, so we sorted by best selling. We're looking at Majestics. First thing up here is that I think we can talk about Command and Conquer, right? Command and Conquer, obviously 2 versions of it. Am I missing the 3rd version? Maybe not. But we got 2 versions of it right here on the top page. The Arc one here. Shout out Jedi. Shout out JCH. Look at that. He's low. Go get him. Go buy it for this man. But I think this is a cool topic to talk a little bit about. Let's see. I took a screenshot of Command and Conquer the moment I figured out, or I saw there was a reprint in the Hunted. At that time, literally within a minute, I still have it here. Let me look it up. Pins. All right. So at that moment of the reveal of the reprint, this version of Command and Conquer was $103.40. So yeah, we've come down $18 or so on this version. The white border version was $81.34, so $20 lower. So actually, the difference between the white border and black border has decreased, right? Because we were $22 difference, and now we're just under $15, $16. But yeah, so you know, I'm thinking possibly when the Hunted restock comes in, we see a little bit more dip on this. We did get I guess, where's the Hunted version? I mean, I guess I'd have to bust out the keyboard again to like search for this. Dude, what? All right, we're going deep in the tank here. I probably missed it and you guys are going to be screaming at me. Anyways, but the Hunted version's like super low inventory, right? Let's look it up real quick. Command and Conquer 105, and there's 4 listings, so that's like kind of what that's what I'm talking about, right? So we look at this, 4 listings, we jump in here, we got currently 8. Sometimes this is wrong. It is wrong. So we currently have 5 total copies of the Hunted Command and Conquer, and it's at 105, which is basically where the Command and Conquer Arc version was before the reprint. You know, obviously it's a legendary, so it did get you know, its pull rate was a little bit lower. Looking at the 3-month snapshot on this guy, $78 was the low. That's a good deal. That's, I mean, in hindsight, that's probably a pretty decent deal. 114 is the high. Snap this out to 6 months. That low price goes down to $70. High sale price as a pre-order, I would imagine. Like that's like 143 is nuts. So yeah, interesting overall. I wouldn't say that the reprint was a 100% success. I would say that the keeping CNCs holding value is good. Could it come down a little bit more from $85 or $70 for the white border? Yeah, probably. You know, could this come down a little bit? I think so. I think it's probably a little bit too much. So the experiment of putting it at legendary, I would say, worked, but I got to turn that knob a little bit more, possibly, or, you know, with the hunted issues, right, with the this supplement printing coming, maybe that will adjust some things a little bit more as well. So I guess we don't have the full story on that one, right, because the release wasn't super clean. Maybe we get more with the reprints and high seas. Maybe we get to tell, you know, lots of boxes are going to be opened, right? So then we can really tell how the reprints affect the prices on those cards once we know what they are. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Sorry, back to just random chatting here. Let's go back to number one here. Jason asks, is Codex getting a reprint or not? I would bet Codex is one of those reprints. I thought we were going to see it in the hunted. I'm surprised it wasn't in the hunted, but we got a ranger in this set, so that makes sense. We know that a reprint for Storm or for Shelter's coming. That's definitely going to affect that. But let's look around here and see if we can't find something with like small listings. A lot of these are pretty. There's a lot of listings still on a lot of these cards. So the market is like holding pretty well. Just jumping around here. So this guy, Retrace the Path, man. This one popped off. Look at that chart, eh? Man. So yesterday, this thing went crazy. Looking at this data, 520. I guess it really didn't go all that crazy. Non-foils, we sold 3, 4. Wait, no, this is just today. So yeah, look, we got to go back to 518. So yeah, these things got bought out, right? Just the Katsu hype. Probably a super good card now that Bonds is a real card again. So not surprising there. Expansion slot card from the hunted. So again, hunted is not the, you know, there's still 86 on TCG Player according to that. Again, that gets us close, I would say. Low sale price 97 cents, high sale price 19.99. Was that 19.99 like yesterday? Yeah. So I wonder what happened here. A couple got bought at $3 and $4. Maybe there was shipping on that, but yeah, we're $20 all of a sudden. But there's still 86 on TCG Players, so yeah, there's a lot here. 32. Wow. At $20. So we'll see how this one goes. That's a decent amount of stock to go through, right? It's not a small amount. It's 86, 27, 29 play sets, so decent amount. And obviously, you know, there'll be some backfill too. And we got the hunted coming at a certain point. 3 of a kind. I'm sure this one got BNR'd. Oh yeah, dude, people are waiting on that BNR, huh? That's funny. It's like straight up, just like, are you gonna ban it? Nope, we buy them. 115 items sold. 110 on TCG players still. $14. So we are right at that high sale price. You know, $14. $16 was the high yesterday. $3 was the low. Obviously the low is like long gone, right? We have to zoom out. You know, yeah, just like the $3 isn't like, oh man, I missed it. Nah, it was gone in February, right? So, oh well. But yep, we're 3 of a kind back up to $14. Crazy times. It'll be interesting. I think it's a little early to see how these heroes play. Always got to keep that in mind. Rowdy Locals. This is another interesting card. Possibly it's a blue, it's a block 3. Possibly a card for Gravy Bones. I think we're seeing that in the graph here, because like March, this was right around High Seas announcements, right? So as you can see, we got 36 sold in these couple days. Still got 90 on TCG Player. Low sale price was $6 in the last 3 months. So this one really hasn't been cheap, like cheap. We jump out to 6 months, still $4. I think Ira plays this card a bit, so maybe we get a little bit of action from Ira, and we know Ira's deck is coming too. So, yeah. Ancestral Empowerment. Let's change this to unlimited normal. And on all my videos, I look at near mint because it just makes sense. Nice. Collects. That's good. That's, you know, if you didn't have them, $6 a piece is not bad, right? You're looking at double that now. Ancestral Empowerment. Interesting. This is going down. We saw 21 items being bought on the BNR announcement. Obviously, Katsu hype. Excuse me. Low sale price, just under $5. High sale price, $20. What? When was Ancestral Empowerment $20? Holy smokes, guys. Must have just been a flyer, because I'm not really seeing it here. So here's the thing to note about WTR, Majestics, and Super Rares. WTR Unlimited had a massive print run, and a lot of people opened this, right? You could get boxes very cheap during the Fab Winter, aka. Yeah, so like a lot of this got opened, and this is how you can tell. 176 on TCG Players still. So what's that mean? That means you see a lot of listings here of play sets. 5. Let's see. I don't know this for a fact, but you might even see. No, it doesn't look like it. I'm kind of surprised. Sometimes you'll see like we saw like 20 cards, right? And but there's a lot to chew through here, huh? Do I have any thoughts on Katsu? Not really a ninja guy. I think Katsu, the ancestry will help a ton, right? Because a Bonds line is incredibly powerful. He doesn't have Art of War, and that was kind of his, like, he needed Art of War, right? So I'll be interested to see where he shakes out. I think he'll just be solid. I guess I would be, if he shows up and wins like a handful of Nats, like first week, second week, like some of the small, or after US Nats, he starts winning some of the smaller ones, I'd be a little bit surprised. I think he's fighting pretty fair still. But it's hard to say because like underwhelming Gust Wave, the card that he got in Rosetta, and then his new spec, right, that we just looked at, Retrace the Path. Like no one's like, I don't think anyone's even like noodled around with that card, right? Katsu was just kind of like dead, like DOA, dude. Just like don't even pick them up. So it'll be interesting to see how those cards kind of like play out nowadays with him, right? That's, I mean, I know that's kind of like a non-answer, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like I wouldn't be like shocked if he wins some stuff, but I would be surprised. I think my surprise level would go up if I saw him winning like a couple Nats. I'd be like, whoa. I think he'll be a solid hero. B tier, right? Go to your armory. You can probably beat up on some people. Definitely catch some people sleeping that don't know how to block. Get hit by that dishonor, dude. Oof. Oof. That's rough. You don't let them dishonors hit you. What else we got here? So where are we at? We're on page 2 already. Sigil of Brilliance. I'm trying to find something that's like, there's really not a lot of like low inventory, high selling cards. Scour, maybe like 19 listings, $8. Obviously this was maybe some Florian hate, right? Heist is $26, guys, and it was just reprinted in the max deck. It only comes in one-ofs, which I think is very smart in the armory decks to like make sure that they're one-ofs. But you know, we saw a little bit, like we look at the price dip here, it was up over 30, it's now down, you know, to $25, $26. Low sell price 17, high sell price 36. Yeah. What do we got? 82 on TCG players. So there's a bunch. What else is going on? Man, it's just like you can tell like how I'm surprised there's 18 listings of the Kiss of Death extended art, to be honest. Sitting at 81.90. This card has come down a bit, right? Obviously this is hype mode. So we're at like 93, but pretty solid. 30 of them on TCG players. That's 10 play sets, guys. Not super, you know, super hard to pull, right? These EAs are super hard. It being a cold foil is very cool. Yeah, sell-through rate's not that high, right? Just one a day. I don't know. That's kind of what I look at. Yeah. I think we might start wrapping her up here because I feel like I'm just rambling on, you know. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me for this abnormal TCG TED night. I think next week we'll probably do the same thing. I won't be able to lean on the BNR as much to talk about, unfortunately. But maybe we look through some cards. You know, next week, Tuesday, it'll be fun to kind of like dig in and look at maybe some of these cards once we get the whole high seas, right? Then things will start moving around. Maybe we see some Ripple Aways move, right? Because you're making some kind of auras and stuff. But yeah, man, thanks so much everybody for hanging out with me. I think we're gonna call it there. Appreciate it. Hit the bell so that you get notified when I go live or I upload a video. I upload a market minute, like 9-minute video, well, 6 to 9 minute video every weekend, talking about 6 cards in the market, kind of doing what we did here. And yeah, live streams every Tuesday. Most Tuesdays, but almost every Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we'll see where high seas did to some of these prices, guys. And that'll be fun. So I will check you next time. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Peace.